chewy. Well, welcome back to my channel, Mispronounced Adventures, and this is a sponsored video of Auxbeam. But wait, before you run away, because everyone else has done Auxbeam's videos, this isn't so much about the lights themselves. I've done previous videos on the light bar, which I've been using in the Arctic, which is amazing, and I'm very impressed with the quality. This whole set of video is going to be about wiring and the electrical side of putting in auxiliary lights on the vehicle. So I already have a light bar on the front of the van, which is hooked to my main beams, or a manual turn on and off, and I'm going to put some light on the sides of the van, the rear of the van. I'm going to have two light pods on the back of the van which turn on either with a control panel in the cab, a switch I'm going to place here so I can look out the back window when I haven't got the insulated cover on, and also lights up when the van's put into reverse. I'm also going to do the same for the right hand side of the vehicle. It's going to have light pods which can be turned on from the front or turned on from a switch here so I can look out the bed. Same here again, one for the front of the van, so also on the side of the van at the sliding door, so I could have that side of the van if the sliding door is open. And I'll show you this box later on. This isn't particular wiring, but I asked for it and Auxbeam sent it to me, and I wanted another big light bar as well. So first off, I had Auxbeam send me another one of their 5D light bars. I've got the 52-inch on the top, which was amazing for the Arctic trip. But I kind of wanted another one just because why not? So I've got sent the 24-inch one for putting down on the bumper. I'm not going to show all the wiring up for that because that's already covered in the original Auxbeam video. So if you find those ones, it shows you one, how you can have a manual switch for it, and also how you could have a automatic switch that comes on and off with your high beam. Just remember, you can't use these lights when you're on UK map roads, only for private and off-road use. That's the light bar mounted. Right, let's just get these opened up. And they've sent me the new 3-inch LED light pods. These are 20 watt each and they come in a variety of different colours. I've just gone for the black. They also come in the spotlight and in floodlight sort of versions. So I've gone for the floodlight because I want them around the sides of the van. And one of the things I've always liked about the Auxbeam stuff is it comes with pre-terminaled connectors, and the quality of the loom which I've seen with them I'm pretty actually impressed with. So let's get all of these unpacked. These appear to be cast aluminium, pretty sturdy. Design where you can take off the front and access the insides, and a breather valve on the back as well, which looks like it allows any moisture which could potentially get in have a way to escape. And it comes with a bracket which you clip into the back and bolt wherever you want to bolt to. Best test that they all light up first. I'm going to test it on the Jackery because that gives me a watt reading. All of these come with nice harnesses. I'm not actually going to use the harnesses. I'm going to be using the Auxbeam control panel, which is in one of the other video. But if you just wanted to use these like sort of standalone, they all come with a nice harness with 2 wires on for the 2 pods. That would help if I turn the lights on. Doesn't help if I point them away, but there we go. Right, so what I will be doing is I'm going to be cutting up these wire harnesses because I'm using the control panel. I don't actually need the switch or the relay on them because it's already fused. What I do want is all of this wire. So I thought it would be important just to show you how I'm going to mount these lights to my roof rack. My roof rack uses this type of aluminium tubing. The bolts which these kits come with, in my case, are just a little bit too thin to go in there. I'm going to replace them with these longest 60mm ones. Right, all the lights are mounted, so 2 down each side at the same places, then 2 in the back. Not the most interesting for the video to do it, but it's using a bracket, and then I'm using 60mm stainless steel bolts into a saddle washer through the 33mm diameter aluminium tubing, a little saddle washer to make it flat again, stainless steel washer, stainless steel nylock nut, nice and sturdy. And then these are all tightened up as well, so I've adjusted the angle. And I'm quite happy with how far they stick out. They don't really stick much further out than the end of the bars anyway. So now I'm going to cut the original wiring looms which they came with, and then do all the wiring, run them into my gland over there. Right, cap off my little gland. That hole leads into a cupboard in the van, so I'm now going to start running the wires. Right, all the cables are now in, put the lid back on, make sure all the glands are tight, and finish for the day. As a temporary option until I order a new switch, I'm just using a on-off-on switch, which means an off, nothing happens. In that way, it's going to turn the driver's side lights on. In that way, it's going to turn the rear lights on. I think I'm going to replace this with probably a momentary switch, because I don't want to leave these permanently on here. It's more I just want to put my finger on it to look out the windows. Right, here is the beautiful mess at the minute. All the cables are run in. This is the original setup I did, which has got a bunch of relays doing different bits and bobs. If you want to figure out what's going on here, this is to do with the high beam. But I need to figure out the next bit. Right, so first system I'm going to be wiring up is going to be a simple one. So it's going to be the driver's side light pods, or the driver's side lights on the van, and I want one switch which can be turned on from the cab, which is going to be the Auxbeam control panel switch, and I want an additional switch which I can turn on from the window. Looking out my bedroom window, if I hear something, I can turn the lights on. So going to be using a 5-prong relay. Normally you would have a supply coming in, and then you would have 87A and 87 as 2 different circuits. For example, you could have one light on here and one light on here, and depending which way the gate was, it would turn the different light on. That's controlled by a signal going to here, so when a signal hits here, that's going to close the gate, which means that one comes on, and when there's no signal, it means this one comes on. I'm going to be using it in reverse, so I'm going to have effectively a supply coming in here, a supply coming in here, and this is going to be to my light. So this is going to be from the Auxbeam. So there's going to be Auxbeam coming here, and then going over to the 2 light pods. So when the Auxbeam is turned on, power will run through the Auxbeam circuit, through the open relay, and then into the lights. For the other side, I'm going to have the switch, which is going to be attached to here. And then this one, on the other hand, is going to have a permanent supply coming from here. And then this will go to leisure system ground. And this feed will come from somewhere else. So when that switch is turned on, that's going to activate the relay, which is going to close the relay, which means this is always live, which is going to turn the lights on with the manual bedside switch. And when it's turned off, the gate closes again and goes this way. So it opens again and goes this way. And normally there's going to be no power from the Auxbeam circuit unless I've turned it on. So that's going to be quite a simple one. So let's get that one wired up and put in place. So, welcome to my test bench. Oh shit, that's not going to work, is it? Right, I'm sorry that you've got a view of my feet, but I, for some reason, drew this in portrait and not landscape, so we can't use the zoomed in version because it wouldn't fit on the screen. This is basically my wiring diagram for having the two rear light pods being controlled by three different ways. So the control button in the cab, the automatic turn on with the reversing lights, which is something I wanted to add because the reversing lights on the van are a bit crap, and a manual switch which is located near the rear door. And I wanted to do it in a way where none of the circuits should interact with each other. So this next bit of wiring is pretty niche, so feel free to just skip this. This is if you want to have an Auxbeam control panel to control your rear lighting from the front, a manual switcher on the back, and reverse lighting. If you just want to have reverse lighting, that's actually really simple to do. It's either just imagine the way, then watch the high beams video, and you imagine the signal is coming from the reverse light turning on, as in the normal vehicle's reverse light turning on, which is how a lot of third-party reverse cameras turn them on, because you just tap into that as a signal wire. Or the bit of wiring before this, where opposed to using a manual switch to turn the relay on and off, you use the signal from the reverse light turning on to turn the rear auxiliary lighting on and off. So let's explain how this works. This is the Auxbeam control panel. This circuit is controlled and can be turned on and off via the button in the cab. So if the button in the cab is turned on, power will run through here. This is going to be in its open position, which is going to go through the first relay, into the second relay, and turn on, which means the cab is going to be able to control the rear lights as a manual off and on. Next one is the reversing lights, which is a different circuit. I run all my auxiliary lighting off a different circuit. So that's going to have a constant live going into 87. That, however, is not going to be powered most of the time. So whilst there's power going into it, it's not going to be powering the light. However, when the reverse light comes on, I'll use a signal from there to close the relay, so that will come across there and then go through into the next relay. And because that's in the open position, that will then power the lights. For the manual switch, I've done a similar thing. So I'm paralleling out that feed. It's also going to go into here. And the same principle is going to happen when there's going to be a constant power going into 87 on this relay. However, there's going to be nothing will happen because the relay will be in the open position normally to the pods. So when that light is closed, when that switch is turned on, that will close the relay, which will then have the power feeding through. So that is my overcomplicated way of doing it. There are probably simpler ways. However, I didn't want to parallel multiple signals into one relay because this is based off the van's electrical system and the rest of the system is all within the leisure circuit of the van and they are isolated from each other. Ground point, this is going to go to the vehicle. This point will be going back to the negative, which whilst I've drawn it here will probably actually loop back up to here. Right, time to wire this up. And it's going to be another two to go on here and into this starting to be a mess of wires, which will all be neatened up by the end. Opposed to doing a time lapse, I'm just going to crack on and do this one because there are lots of coloured wires and it's going to get confusing and take me ages, and I don't really want to record about 40 minutes of 4K footage. So relay is mounted. I need to just sort out the triggers for the switches. So signal for the reversing light, which is how I'm going to trigger the rear lights to come on. So when the normal van's reversing light comes on, there'll be a voltage going down here, which will trigger the relay, which will turn the light on. This is how a lot of reversing cameras for vehicles work as well, if they're aftermarket. And this one will be the manual switch. Right, so I've tested it. It all works. What I am going to do is I'm going to add another relay because I'm going to run something off this one which is a bit more powerful than 5 amps. So I'm going to put another relay here and do all the wire management, and then I'll show you it working when it's actually dark. Well, cable managed, although I'm pretty sure I'll learn I forgot one cable somewhere. And the last thing which Auxbeam sent me were an 8 set of rock lights, because I'm a child and I wanted rock lights for the van. And since they were supplying them, I thought I'd add them. So they're not very interesting for wiring up. All I do is mount these under the vehicle and plug them into this unit. So I'm going to get those done and then we'll look at all the lights at the end of the video. Before I install them, I thought it'd be a good idea to just power them up and make sure they're all working, which they are. So these are all RGB as well. I've just got them set at red at the minute, but you can log into them via the app and change them to any colour you want, brightness, and even do silly things like make them flash with the music. Right, now it's time to spend probably the next 8 hours installing these under the van. Hadn't yet done a video with all the lights on. And that's the lighting. I don't know why the only video I have of the lighting at dark at the minute is in portrait. And the festival from one of the videos was Van Love Fest, which was on an airport, and it was just brilliant, so that's a bit of fun. Obviously the rock lights underneath the van are just for fun. I've used them at quite a few of the festivals this year and they've just been a good laugh really. They're not serious, although I think in the Arctic next winter, under vehicle lighting and all the side lighting is going to make out for some cool photos. However, I've had these side pods on and I had the bars on for about 4 or 5 months now, and they're still performing brilliantly. I had condensation in one of the light pods for about the first 2 weeks of it being on, and then that's all seemingly disappeared, never happened again, which they just have that little valve at the back, so I don't know how moisture got in, but it escaped. So I'm really happy with these. For me, it's made so much easier by having the Auxbeam control panel. And that's pretty much going to be the end of this video. I haven't really got any space to put any more lights in this van. Or maybe I do, I don't know. See what Auxbeam want to offer me. But thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for watching the video. Hopefully it helps with some electrical aspects. If people are interested in different ways you can wire up auxiliary lighting. And yeah, well, I hope I'll see you next time. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, please do. There's plenty more content. You can watch my videos, such as this van getting blown around an Arctic car park, or you can watch me drunk dressed as a pirate on an eco-flow powered boat. But that's pretty much all for this video. So once again, thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.